Hello there.
With the launch of the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer comes a lot of questions and a lot of speculation on what is to come in this movie, but there is a surprising amount of details that have already leaked for this plot, so we are going to discuss it in this video and discuss exactly what the current plot speculation is around Jurassic World Rebirth and some of the things we know for sure are coming to the film, including multiple mutant dinosaur villains, an adaptation of a concept for Jurassic Park 4 that we are now seeing in the modern day, as well as some iconic scenes from the Jurassic Park book being adapted into the film, the return of the Spinosaurus, the introduction of multiple new colossal dinosaurs, and the redesign of some iconic ones. So we're getting into it in this video. If you guys enjoy my Jurassic content, then check out my channel and let's get into it.
The Atomic Fair.
Alright guys, the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer was released this morning, and with that trailer comes a lot of confirmed details from leaks that have already come out from this movie, and teases of a lot of dinosaurs returning to the franchise, including the Spinosaurus, including the Mosasaurs, and the introduction of some major new dinosaurs like the Titanosaurus, who I'm pretty sure is the dinosaur whose tail we saw in the teaser trailer for the film. Or I guess the teaser of the teaser, if you want to call it that. But some of the early information that we got about Jurassic World Rebirth told us already that this film was going for a much darker tone and something more similar to the visual style Peter Jackson's 2005 King Kong film. Additionally, we were told that we were going back to some of the original designs or some of the more scaly designs of the dinosaurs and moving away from some of the feathered dinosaurs, and that the tone of the film would be much darker and be much more in line with some of the horror elements that we got from the early Jurassic Park films that the Jurassic World franchise seemingly moved away from. Now, all of that was good news, and a lot of that was really exciting for fans, but I think it was the return of the Spinosaurus, once people found out that was happening, where people started to get really excited for this movie. So it seems to be adopting some of the tones of, say, Jurassic Park 3 with some of the more eerie concepts that they use in that film and some of the teasers of genetic mutation that they showed in the lab when we first saw the feathered raptors, or the raptors with the spikes on the back of their head, in that movie. Now, in the original Jurassic Park books, there were some quotes that teased the concept of mutant dinosaurs, including a quote that talks about the fact that Hammond would specifically only showcase the prettiest dinosaurs to the public. You never saw the ugly mutations, or the mutations, the genetic dinosaurs that just didn't quite go right, that didn't come out the way that they wanted, and the genetic splicing and experimentation that was being done on these dinosaurs to create even more modified versions of dinosaurs, like we saw with the Indominus Rex, with the Indoraptor, and was going to be introduced in Jurassic Park 4 with the introduction of new mutant dinosaurs. So those were some of the early things that we heard about this movie, and some people were already speculating, including myself. I was already set on the fact that we were going to see a mutant dinosaur in this film, but then also more information came out about the dinosaurs we're seeing in the movie. Some of the redesigns that we're getting, that the Spinosaurus is going to be far more accurate to the paleo design of this creature versus the Jurassic Park 3 style, even though I want to see the Jurassic Park 3 Spino return, and it may in some way, shape, or form. It looks like we are getting redesigned dinosaurs, including the Spinosaurus and including the Mosasaurus, who is going to have less crocodilian features, who is set to have a more greenish white color, and is going to have square-like fins as opposed to the design that we saw in the Jurassic World films. So they're definitely taking efforts not only to make the dinosaurs more paleo accurate, to move away from the feathers, which I guess you can debate whether that's paleo accurate or not. Now, more information we found out about the Spinosaurus was that it was going to be the hero dinosaur of this movie, that there's going to be multiple action sequences with this Spinosaurus, including the river raft sequence, which was scrapped from the first Jurassic Park film, but instead of having the Tyrannosaurus Rex, they're going to include the Spinosaurus. We know that there is going to be a family boat that gets capsized in this film. There's going to be a family that gets trapped on the island that our main cast is going to. We know that they are going to extract dinosaur DNA from 3 colossal dinosaurs that they are using to make a cure for a virus that is spreading around the world that actually came from the dinosaurs. So I don't know if when they were making this movie they used COVID as some of the inspiration for the story, because I guess maybe the pandemic was going on at the time that they were crafting the story for this movie, but nonetheless that seems to be the plot that they are going with, and we know that a family boat will be capsized on that island by the Spinosaurus, channeling some of those Jurassic Park 1 river raft sequence vibes and bringing that scene into the fray that was originally scrapped from the first Jurassic Park film. Now, we heard rumors of other aquatic sequences happening in the movie, like the Mosasaurus having its own attack scene where it looks like it's going to capsize a boat that is carrying our main cast on it as well. And it's looking like when our main cast goes onto this island to extract this dinosaur DNA, this seems to be a much deeper rabbit hole than they are initially in for, because they're going to stumble upon more genetically modified dinosaurs and experiments, including the big controversy of this film, which is a mutant dinosaur villain. So that's another big plot point we know is happening in this movie. We know there is going to be a big mutant dinosaur in the film that's around the size of the T-Rex that they are going to fight at the end of the film. It's going to have 4 legs and I guess 2 additional arms, so 6 limbs in total, and it's going to somewhat maybe resemble the Rex-like monster that we saw, at the end of 65, or maybe even resemble some of the scrapped Muto designs from Godzilla 2014. Those are some of the hints at what this dinosaur will look like, and we have some concept art already going around online. Some majorly talented people have drawn some fan art showing what this dinosaur is supposed to look like according to the leaks. But that is not the only mutant that we know is going to pop up in the film, as there is going to be a smaller dinosaur as well. Now, the big dinosaur is covetedly named the D-Rex. We don't know the full name of this dinosaur. A lot of people think it's going to be Diabolus Rex or something along those lines, which was, I think, a scrapped name for the Indominus Rex, but the D-Rex looks to be the name of the dinosaur, with the full name not being able to be revealed because it's trademarked, and that would just bring the banhammer apparently from Universal. That is what the leaker said at the time. So we know there's going to be a D-Rex and a smaller mutant dinosaur that has another trademarked name as well that's going to be in the film, that is going to be maybe a smaller version of the D-Rex. It's not going to have 6 limbs. It looks like it's going to have 4, and it's going to walk upright, and it's said to resemble a xenomorph style dinosaur. So this looks to be the big information for this movie. We also know that there is going to be slightly evolved hyper intelligent dinosaurs appearing in the film as well. I'm not going to say that they are subhuman. I don't know if they're at that level of intelligence, but intelligence that even surpasses apparently the Velociraptors. Now, speaking of the raptors, they are set to have a big role in this film. Of course, they are iconic dinosaurs which appear in every single Jurassic film since the first movie, and in this movie they look to be going back to the Jurassic Park 3 designs with these dinosaurs, with some of them having the feathered like quills running down their back and having a color palette that's closer to Jurassic Park 3 as well. We have some leaked pictures that at the time came from Universal Studios Japan that is supposed to be pretty similar to what we see in the film. Although these dinosaurs were created for the park, they seem to have a similar design to the ones we'll be seeing in Jurassic World Rebirth, although probably a different color palette and whatnot. But nonetheless, it looks like we're going retroactively back to the Jurassic Park 3 Raptors in this upcoming Jurassic World film. And then that brings us to the 3 colossal dinosaurs. Now, the 3 colossal dinosaurs that are going to have the DNA extracted from them are the Quetzalcoatlus, the Titanosaurus, and the Mosasaurus. Now, the Titanosaurus, we have already seen visuals of this dinosaur in the trailer, as well as visuals of what the Mosasaurus will look like, which just goes back to the redesign that I touched on earlier. But we know that the Quetzalcoatlus is set to have a slightly different design, different from its Jurassic World Dominion counterpart, with a different shaped beak and some early toy leaks that have already come out, kind of showing what these dinosaurs are set to look like. Now, the Titanosaurus is set to have quills all over its body, on its tail, and on the back of its neck. It is set to be a massive dinosaur, and if some of the early leaks are to be taken at face value, it looks like it may be slightly more aggressive than some of the other long neck dinosaurs we have seen appear in the past, such as the Brachiosaurus, which kind of set the precedent for the nature of these dinosaurs in the first Jurassic Park movie and how they even behave around humans, which is that they're non-threatening and non-violent. Now, the final act of this movie we are hearing is going to be a big face-off between the Spinosaurus and the D-Rex. Now, a lot of people are wondering about the Tyrannosaurus Rex in this film and what their role will be. They are said to have a couple sequences in the film, but we know that there is set to be 2 T-Rexes in the film, and one of them is going to have a scar over its eye. They're going to be, more resemblant of the buck and doe Rexes that we saw in Jurassic Park: The Lost World, and we know that they are going to be some thick old boys and aren't going to be quite as thin or feminine looking as Rexy. Now we know that Rexy is aging and getting older, so her time may be coming in the next series of movies. I don't know if she'll appear in Jurassic World Rebirth. I don't really think she will, but we were also teased in early leaks, which we haven't heard much about since, about a rematch between the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus in this upcoming film, where the Rex apparently wins. Now, these were very early leaks in the movie, so we don't really know if this is going to end up materializing in the film, especially if the Spinosaurus is going to be the hero dinosaur that we keep hearing it's going to be. Now, speaking of the Spinosaurus being the hero dinosaur, it looks like it's going to be the dinosaur that is used in the third act of this movie to face off against the giant mutant dinosaur that appears in the film. It looks like the Spinosaurus is going to win and have its big hero moment, but we know, like I said, that this is going to be a slightly different Spino than we saw before. It's going to have more crocodilian features. It's going to have a paddle-like tail and a different looking sail on its back, and it might be a little bit more stocky considering it's going to be more paleo accurate than the Spinosaurus we saw in Jurassic Park 3. But nonetheless, that kind of covers most of the details of this movie in terms of the action sequences and what we know we are going to see in this film for all the various dinosaurs. There are also rumors of a Plesiosaurus appearing in the film in a aquatic action sequence, finally making its debut in the Jurassic franchise. And I guess an additional leak or teaser we saw about this film was a massive pair of Megalodon jaws that were inside of a bar in a sequence they were shooting for the film. Whether or not that ends up materializing as an actual Megalodon in the film, we don't really know, but there was a slight teaser of that as well. Now, and finally, we move to the main plot of this movie, which we have a major leak about that. We basically know what the plot of the entire movie is going to be, but it says 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. Those who wandered away from the equator developed a disease that carries the risk of spreading to humans. The dinosaurs that remain exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling the ones they once thrived in. Zora Bennett and her team is sent out to retrieve genetic samples from the Titanosaurus, Quetzalcoatlus, and Mosasaurus in order to create a vaccine. They're after these specific dinosaurs because the bigger ones are more resilient, and by targeting land, sea, and air, they can make a more flexible vaccine. Zora's operation intersects with a civilian family whose boating expedition by an illegal island is capsized by a Spinosaurus. That is the river raft sequence that, of course, they've been teasing. It's possible that the crew crashed here after their boat was attacked by a Mosasaurus. It does get attacked, but the leak didn't mention whether it's before or after they end up on the island. The island they end up on is an old InGen island testing ground. It was abandoned due to failed company-ending mistakes, so they swept under the rug, leaving everything to die. However, this became a dumping ground for misplaced species, giving me some Island of Misfit Toys vibes. But then we say there is some character drama. Duncan has brotherly love for Zora but doesn't trust Loomis, who does fall for Zora. They both think they are in charge of the crew. Martin they don't trust, and there is a traitor in the crew who wants to give the samples to another company. The final fight is at night. The crew is trying to escape the island but are being hunted by the mutant D-Rex. At the docks, the Spinosaurus and the D-Rex fight it out, said to be one of the best fights in the franchise. Now, one more dinosaur that we know is coming to this film, and it's not the most exciting dinosaur, but it's the Aqualops. It is the marketing dinosaur, and it's about the size of a cat. They tag along with the group who gives them a nickname, and it's orangish with black stripes down its tail with quills. So comment down below, guys, let me know what you think about all this stuff, because this basically covers all of the big plot points we know are coming to Jurassic World Rebirth, the various dinosaurs that we know are coming to the film, and kind of the timeline of the various leaks that we have for this movie. So for this video, guys, that is all I got. I hope you enjoyed it, and until the next one, be safe, stay well, bye-bye.